Hello friends, welcome to Gikkudiaries YouTube channel. And is today was the test squad that was named for the India tour of England, which is coming up in June. And we have a new captain in Shubman Gill, who is looked at as one who will lead India in tests for quite some time to come. And I have a very special guest today, and it's my honor privilege to welcome Raja Venkat, the former first-class cricketer from Bengal, middle order left-handed batsman, and he was the national selector who was part of the committee that picked up the 2011 ICC World Cup winning Indian squad. Raja Venkat sir, welcome to Gikkudiaries, and thank you very much for agreeing to do this for me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, GK. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Of course, yes. So how have you been? And I'm sure you would have followed the test squad that was announced today. What is your overall assessment of the new test captain following the sudden retirement from tests of Rohit Sharma and of course the senior batsman Virat Kohli? So your assessment of the test squad, which is an 18-member squad, and Shubman Gill as the new India test captain.
See, honestly speaking, Shubman Gill, we always have been talking about as the future Indian captain. There was no doubt about that. But my only submission here would be maybe it may have been too early for him, maybe. Ideally, if I was in the selector's role, I would have possibly tried out KL Rahul for a short period and Shubman as his deputy. And maybe that would have been a grooming ground for Shubman Gill. Yes, no doubt Shubman has the talent. Shubman is the future Indian captain. There's no doubt about that. But this, I think, would be too much of a pressure for him, where it's going to be a tough tour without a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli. It is an Indian side. The batting side is more, what should I say, more attuned to one-day cricket, the shorter form of cricket. It's more for white ball cricket. Most of the batsmen who are there, they're all very, very good in white ball cricket and not really tested in red ball cricket. And coming back to your other question about Virat and Rohit, see, all said and done, both of them were top class cricketers. Rohit in his heydays was a master blaster, fantastic batsman. He had so much of time to play. But unfortunately, if you ask me honestly, I think it was a wise decision for him to take a call because he was not performing in the last 1.5, 2 years. He was not doing too well. It wasn't that the Rohit Sharma we'd seen before. It was somebody who didn't even look like Rohit Sharma. So I think it was a wise decision on his part. But again, coming to Virat Kohli, I thought he could have played another year or two. He is still India's best batsman and possibly still one of the best batsmen in the world. So him retiring at this stage, I think, was a wrong decision. At least bad for Indian cricket. I can put it that way.
Right. It was exactly the same thoughts that I had. And that is why I asked Ajit Agarkar, the chairman of selectors, the question on whether it was too early to give Shubman Gill the captaincy, or for this all-important series, 5-test series in England, maybe KL Rahul, for his experience of not just having led India in tests before, though he may have been a stopgap arrangement, 3 tests, 2 in Bangladesh and 1 in South Africa. And of course, India won in Bangladesh. And the experience of having played in England, maybe KL Rahul would have been an ideal candidate. And I asked Ajit Agarkar this, but he said you cannot pick a captain for a series or a two series, and you have to have somebody for the long term. And he also admitted that, yes, Shubman Gill will have to learn on the job. Sir, you have been a selector yourself, and being part of the squads that have selected squads, and especially for England in 2011. What goes into the making of a squad, especially for the conditions in England where now India is going the start of the summer, and where it is going to be pitches are going to be fresh and not on which where they have played some matches, especially the county matches. So how do you go about picking a squad, especially for England?
See, in England, you got to play a waiting game. For the batsman, you can't play your strokes as you would play in Australia or South Africa, where there are bouncy tracks, even on Indian conditions, where you can score runs freely. You have to have the patience to score runs and play late. And that is very, very important. See, that is something which, if you look at our batsmen now, more and more, like I said earlier on, it's all playing white ball cricket. We are champions in white ball cricket. We've got fantastic players, no doubt about that. But it is going to be a real test for this young squad. The only batsmen who I feel have done reasonably well in one day in Test cricket is one is Shubman Gill. Then it's to some extent Rishabh Pant has done well in Test cricket.
Right.
Apart from that, there aren't too many people who've batted long innings in Test cricket. See, after we lost Sachin, Rahul, Saurav, VVS, Sehwag, and Gambhir. See, you needed somebody, Rahul Dravid, which I forgot. All these players, any one of them could hold the innings together. And that is what is required in Test cricket. You need an anchor. And that we don't have too many of them here. The
Right.
name which an uncapped player who has the capacity to play a long innings is Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Abhimanyu has scored a lot of runs in domestic cricket. Unfortunately, he has not got the opportunity to play. He's one of those guys who's got a very good temperament to play long innings. But unfortunately, most of the other batsmen, they play short innings, short and sweet. They don't play those long innings anymore.
Do you see Abhimanyu Ishwaran making his debut because he was on the tour of Australia but did not get a chance to play? He has also been in the Test squad in India or overseas, but never got to be in the playing 11. Is he suitable for the conditions in England? And do you see him make his Test debut at least this time?
See, he's a compact player. Let me be clear on that. He's a good player, technically sound. But the point is, with the kind of form that Sai Sudarshan is in. So I think initially the team would be Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill maybe. Or, sorry, Jaiswal. Jaiswal right. And Sai Sudarshan could be the openers with Shubman Gill coming in at number 3.
Okay. So that means you would have KL Rahul at number 4, and KL Rahul has the experience of having toured England before. He has got centuries in England, though it could have been, it was one in the Oval where everyone scores 100, and even if I remember, Anil Kumble got a Test 100 in at the Oval on the series where no other Indian got a Test century until that point of time. I think it was 2007. So KL Rahul, but it's still I just can't accept the fact that KL Rahul is not the captain for this 5-test series. You, like you said, have Shubman Gill as his deputy. Some experience is required, isn't it? And some wise head. Shubman Gill went to Australia, played 3 test matches, didn't score much there, hardly less than 100 in 5 innings. And he is somebody who needs the runs behind him, and he cannot have added pressure of also to score runs and also lead India in, of all the places, England. So it's still how to get over this? Please tell me, sir.
That's exactly what I mentioned, that putting that additional pressure on him. See, a guy who has not done all that well in 5-day cricket, he has to get back to form. He's a class player, no doubt about that. But confidence is when you score runs. That is where you gain confidence. And that is what is required for him. KL, on the other hand, it's like maybe not one season, maybe 2 seasons, he could be the captain. And in the meantime, Gill could have been the vice captain and groomed in later. Yeah. The other point is, like, when you look at this team, you don't have a Shreyas Iyer in the team. Yes. See, to be honest with you, he's another experienced cricketer who I thought should be there in the middle order, where your middle order looks absolutely blank, to be honest with you. See, you need a player who's going to carry the back through, which you don't have many in this team. That is where I think we will struggle with our batting this time. Our bowling is reasonably good, but I think we've got quite a lot of gap to fill in the batting order.
Somebody was asking me when they announced the India A squad that is touring soon, England, why isn't Shreyas Iyer in the India A squad, even in the India A squad? So my answer to him was, maybe they are looking at him as somebody to be in the Test squad and also provide some experience in the middle order. But then he doesn't figure. That is also quite baffling. And you also don't have Sarfaraz Khan, who last year scored 100, 150 in Bangalore, but hardly did anything thereafter. Went to Australia like Abhimanyu Ishwaran, warmed the benches. He doesn't find a place in the squad. There is no Harshit Rana, who played the first two test matches in Australia, and he did reasonably well. Though my first choice would have been either Akashdeep or Prasiddha Krishna in Australia. Though Akashdeep and Prasiddha Krishna figure in this England tour, there is no Harshit Rana from Australia. There is no Sarfaraz Khan from Australia tour. What happens?
See, honestly speaking, if you ask me, Sarfaraz's exclusion is not surprising. After that 150 he scored, he has been struggling.
Right.
See, he's basically a back foot player. When he comes onto it hardly comes onto the front foot. And people have seen it. And that's where people have been attacking him. And that's how he's been getting out. Driving up pitchly because his weight is already on his back foot. So Sarfaraz not being there in the team does not surprise me. But yes, I do agree with you on Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana has been bowling well. And he did reasonably well in the IPL also. He's pretty nippy and could have been useful in the English conditions. I would, any day, I don't call Shardul Thakur an all-rounder. Shardul Thakur is a bowler. He's okay. He's an okay bowler who can bat a bit. You can't label him as an all-rounder. There, I would any day pick Harshit Rana ahead of Shardul Thakur.
Okay. And you also have an all-rounder in the true sense, perhaps Nitish Kumar Reddy, who did well in Australia, who also, if given enough bowling, like we saw him in the last IPL match that he played for SRH, he took 2 wickets. So he is somebody who, if given the confidence, given a long bowl, can become a true all-rounder, perhaps a batting all-rounder whose bowling could suit English conditions. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so. To be honest with you, to me, Nitish Rana, the way he performed in Australia was a big surprise to me, because straight out of the IPL to play Test cricket, that was something which did surprise me. I thought he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Yes, he went there, scored a few runs, batting at number 7 and number 8. But that's not what we are looking for. We are looking for an all-rounder who's somebody like a Kapil Dev, who can come into the team at number 6. Even for that matter, if you look at Jaddu now, Jaddu's turned out to be a reasonable batsman now. Jadeja, if we look at it over the years, he has matured into a very, very good batsman, and you can call him a genuine all-rounder now.
Right. When you look at the squad, the 18-member squad, we have about four all-rounders to say. Nitish Kumar Reddy, Shardul Thakur, at least that's what Ajit Argar also said in the press conference. You can say Shardul Thakur, categorize him as in the all-rounders category. Then you have Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja among the all-rounders. You have 5 seamers, Jasprit Bumrah leading the pack, but whether he is going to be fit to play all the 5 tests, the selectors are not sure. And they will also have an eye on his workload management. So Jasprit Bumrah, not all 5 test matches. Expect Mohammad Siraj and Prasiddha Krishna maybe to play lead roles in the 5 test matches. Akashdeep and Arshdeep, who is yet to make his test debut. And if you look at the 18, there are 3 who have not played tests for India. Ishwaran, Sai Sudarshan and Arshdeep. How do you look at this balance of the team, and can we say it's you can't even say experience combined with youth? It somewhere looks a little imbalanced if you look at the overall team. That is my personal opinion. I want your view as being a former selector.
See, you got 3 wicket keepers in the team. You got Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul, and you got Jurel.
Yes.
Now, I don't know why you had to take Jurel in the first place. That is this thing. The other thing which I feel is, see, our bowling attack, yes, Prasidh Krishna has been bowling very well. You have Arshdeep, left-arm medium pacer, who's been bowling well, but hasn't been tested in the longer version. Bumrah, we know what he is. Mohammad Siraj is very good. Very hard trier, I would say. But the point is, when Bumrah is doubtful to play all the 5 test matches, I may have risked taking a Mohammad Shami in the squad. The only reason being, Mohammad Shami has not been bowling too well. Maybe he's not fully fit. But the point is, Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah, they were the most lethal pair in world cricket. They were possibly during their peak time, they were possibly the best bowling attack in world cricket. So I would have risked taking him in case Bumrah was rested for a test match or two. Maybe he could have been drafted in. And there was no need to have Jurel over there. The other point which I thought was Washington Sundar is a tested player. Washington Sundar is I wouldn't say great, but okay. In fact, against New Zealand, he went on to get a few wickets also. But it could have been a possibility to try Kotian also. Kotian has also been doing well. Kotian has bowled well. Kotian has batted well also. So if you're looking at the true sense as an all-rounder, Kotian also maybe fits in that bill. So
Right.
these are two options which we had. And the other point was, like I mentioned a little earlier, was Shardul Thakur. Shardul Thakur has been tested and tried, and he has not lived up to what people expected from him.
And it is the last test that he played was in South Africa in 2023, and he did not figure in the test series thereafter. And to suddenly have Shardul Thakur, it baffles me as much as it does you or anyone for that matter. And you mentioned about Washington Sundar. He is one of the 7 in this 18-member squad. Forget the 3 debutants who have, though played test matches, are yet to play a test in England. So how much of that will put India on the back foot, because you have only 8 with previous experience of playing in England, 7 who have played tests but not in England, and 3 who are yet to play a single test. So that makes it 10 out of 18 who have no experience of playing in England. Have England already gained the advantage by this kind of a combination that India have chosen?
CGK, if you look at it, we are in a stage where our team is in a transition stage. We have just about lost a few of our seasoned campaigners, few of our top class cricketers, where now this whole lot of youngsters have come. These youngsters have not been tested in test cricket. They are more into the shorter version. And I think this series, if we do not do too badly, even if we lose 2 test matches or 3 test matches, I wouldn't be surprised. I would say that we've done reasonably well. It is a time that we are rebuilding this team. These youngsters need to prove themselves at that highest level, because test cricket is the best form of cricket. You need to have good technique. You need to have good temperament to bat out for two sessions, 3 sessions, 4 sessions, which our greats did, former greats.
Right.
Like, you compare that team and today's team, it's chalk and cheese. You had a Gautam Gambhir and Sehwag. Then you had Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, Ganguly, Lakshman. What more did you need? 6 of the top class batsmen, each of them capable of scoring big hundreds. And that is what is required in this team, which I don't see too many of them there. They're all talented cricketers, no doubt, but you have not been tested really in the longer format of the game.
Very true.
That is where we will be struggling, which I feel. I hope I'm proved wrong, but that is my opinion.
Right. And also, is it fair to say or look at the form of, say, player, somebody like Rishabh Pant, who is struggling with bat in the IPL, but he will be all right when he goes to England, because his experience, not only behind the wickets, but also in front of the wicket, is very essential if India are to put up some respectability and give a fight to Englishmen. Rishabh Pant and his batting form in IPL, is it a concern? Because I wanted to ask this question to Ajit Agarkar, but I didn't get a chance to ask this particular question. I wanted to ask him, Rishabh Pant's form in IPL, is it a concern going to England, or different formats? It doesn't matter at all. As a selector, how would you look at it?
See, it is a big concern. There's no doubt about that. The way he's been batting in the IPL, you look at it, he's been struggling. He's been struggling big time. even in not the last match, the one before that, where he came into bat at number 3, where Puran has been in great form. Puran was pushed back and he went into bat at number 3. He went and slowed down the proceedings there. See, he's not batting the way he bats, and he's not confident at all. So that is a big handicap for India. Initially, yes, maybe first test match, they will play him as a wicketkeeper batsman. They'll have KL batting at number 4, maybe. But the point is, if he fails in the first match or the second game, then we may have to look at other options. And that is maybe one of the reasons they've taken Jurel in the team. They don't want to keep pressurize KL Rahul as a wicketkeeper batsman, rather make KL focus on his batting only. That could be the reason that they've taken 3.
Right. So, in your days as a selector, you had MS Dhoni filling it at number 7 after the stalwarts of the world batting, like the names that you mentioned, right from Gambhir, Sehwag, the Fab Four. Then you had MS Dhoni. Do you think Rishabh Pant on his 3rd tour of England can come somewhere close to MS Dhoni, or like you just mentioned, he doesn't bat well in the first 2 matches, and they look beyond Rishabh Pant. Mind you, he is the vice captain of the team also. So,
see, again, if you look at it, if you compare MS Dhoni to Rishabh Pant, see, MS Dhoni was a great, great finisher in the shorter format. His test record is not all that great, and overseas, it's, I think, pretty ordinary. For a player who's been rated so high, his test record doesn't speak too high of him overseas. Yes, in Indian conditions, he scored a few centuries, but Rishabh Pant, on the other hand, has scored on overseas conditions. In Australia, he scored. In South Africa, he scored. So when you look at it, maybe, and he's played, how many test matches today? He must have played, I'm not too sure how many test matches he played.
He has played, at least he has played 9 test matches in England alone.
Right.
So, yeah. So
no, I'm saying in total. In total, the number of test matches.
30, 40 test matches easily.
Right. Yeah. So he's still got a long way to go. And he has been, the kind of batting he does is flamboyant. He takes risky shots. Sometimes the team, or when the supporters are sitting there watching India play, where he's supposed to be defending, he plays a rash shot and he gets out. That's the way he plays. The day he clicks, it's great to watch. But the day he plays a loose shot and he gets out, people start cursing. What kind of batting is this? So you got to take a chance over there with Rishabh Pant. Batting in at number 7, maybe he'll bat at number 6, maybe. But you got to take a chance with him. It's not you're going to put your life on him. Like with somebody like, what should I say? Like maybe a Rahul Dravid or a Sachin Tendulkar. You'll put your life on them. Yes, I can depend on these guys. Yes. That you can't. With him, either he's a match winner or he's not there.
Yeah, so when you look at the squad, you think the bowlers will have to do a bulk of the job, but then for them to deliver, they must have the runs to bowl at, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So how do you
if you don't have runs in the book? Yeah, go on.
No, so how do you look at the bowling lineup that India have with 5 seamers, and you have the mix of spinners and bowling all-rounders?
See, I would look at them playing 3 fast bowlers, Bumrah, Siraj, and maybe Prasidh Krishna with the form that he's in. And they'll play with Jadeja as all-rounder and Kuldeep as the wrist spinner. Because in England, I think a wrist spinner always helps rather than a finger spinner.
Okay. And how much of the England squad have you followed? They're currently playing by Zimbabwe in that one of 4-day test matches, which is likely to end in 3 days today. Enforcing follow-on, and you expect Zimbabwe to not put up that much of a fight against England. Does this performance give an indication to what to expect from England against India?
See, England at home is going to be a formidable side. There's no doubt about that. But again, if you're talking about Zimbabwe is a pretty ordinary side. So I don't see much in that. But yes, England is a formidable side. They know the conditions better than anybody else. And the difference is their players are coming into this test series, playing a couple of test matches against Zimbabwe. which means you played 2 5-day games before coming in here. And where are we heading from? We are heading from a T20 tournament straight into Test cricket. So
Right.
that is a big paradigm shift from a 20-over game to a 5-day Test match.
Sir, how was it during your days as a selector? Can you throw some interesting anecdotes, stories, how it was? Krishnamacharya Shrikant, the great character of world cricket, was the chairman of selectors. How were your meetings and how jovial was it, or how serious was he when it came to selecting? Just to get an idea of how the selection meetings were.
See, during our time, there's one good thing which used to happen was like Srikanth, he wouldn't go and see all the domestic matches. He used to rely on the other four selectors, Yashpal, Bhave, Hirwani, and me. We would go out to watch all the domestic matches, and each of us going to different centers so that we get to see as many number of matches as we could. And then we would sit together and discuss, this is the players we'd watched, this is the player who's good. And that's how, if you look at it, during our time, a lot of young players came into the limelight. Like if you look at Murli Vijay, you look at Ashwin, Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, all of them, they were picked during our time. So we used to lay a lot of emphasis on domestic cricket. We never looked at IPL per se to select a test team from IPL. If you look at it now, most of the players are being selected from IPL. It's very few who are coming from the first class cricket.
So you just mentioned a few names like Ashwin, Kohli, and Jadeja. When you selected them, did you think that they would go on for a long time? That they have actually gone on, become greats of world cricket? Ashwin 500 plus, Virat Kohli 80 plus international hundreds. Do selectors get that intuition that yes, these players will go on to make big mark in international cricket?
Absolutely. If you look at, say, for example, Virat Kohli, see, honestly speaking, it's an absolute, I would say, a submission. When we selected him, four of us selectors, we thought that he would be a damn good one-day cricketer. White ball cricket, Virat Kohli would be a champion. But we never expected him to do so well in Test cricket. We were all proved wrong except for one selector. Yashpal kept on insisting. He says कि ये देखो ये होने लंबा रेस का घोड़ा है, ये खेलेगा बड़ा team. And believe it or not, the day he was announced the captain of all the four formats, all the three formats rather, I got a call from Yashpal. I said, तेरे को क्या बोला था मैं? I said, Paji, we all accepted. You were the only one who said that he would be a world champion in all the formats.
Right.
So that was the kind of thing we had. We had a very good understanding. And the best thing about this thing was like, I was from the East Zone. It didn't mean I have to only back players from East Zone. If I saw somebody good from another state, I would back him. And it was the same with all the others also. Like, for example, in a case of a wicket keeper, I don't want to mention the name right now, where I thought X was very good. But somebody else thought, our chairman thought rather, that Y was the second wicket keeper who should be taken in. So we were having an argument. So eventually what happened was we had one of those ex-players, one of the stars who was there. He was close to the chairman. He had come to meet us. So he just casually asked him. He said, who should be the second wicket keeper? So he just said X should be the keeper. It was that kind of a situation we had. We would ensure that as fair as possible we could be. Like if you look at it, we got a lot of flack for selecting Murli Vijay ahead of Wasim Jafar. The reason was we thought Wasim had seen his better days. No doubt, a very good player. But we thought Murli Vijay had the potential, which he proved. He played well. He was there.
Right.
So that was something which we all liked. Even in the case of Ashwin, when we selected him, you had Harbhajan Singh. To me, last of the classical spinners who was there. Absolute brilliant, that loop and lovely turn of the ball. Harbhajan slowly was replaced by Ashwin. And Ashwin has proved that, yes, I was a damn good bowler. Like initially, he didn't do too well in overseas conditions. He was struggling. He was a match winner in home conditions on turning tracks. But later on, he kept on changing. That was the hallmark of Ashwin. He developed new balls. He was a thinking bowler, and that made him what he was.
Right. Sir, you picked up some of the greats who went on to become greats of the game. But this kind of recent developments where players just retire through the social media announcement. Earlier, it used to be somebody saying, okay, this is going to be my farewell series, or I'm going to quit after this particular series or test or whatever. Why is this happening? Is it because of the social media, or is it because the players have had so much focus on them during their playing days that they just want to move away from everything with just a silent message to the public on the social media? Or why is it happening? Like the case of Rohit Sharma announcing on Instagram, Virat Kohli on Instagram. But yesterday, Angelo Matthews of Sri Lanka, of course, he did put it on Instagram, but he said this upcoming test against Bangladesh was going to be his farewell test. Unlike Rohit or Virat, who just suddenly surprised everyone with their retirement announcements. Why is it happening like this?
See, to be honest with you, I'm not sure about Rohit. It was maybe, see, the ball was in his squad. He was not performing as he should have been performing. I don't know whether the selectors have spoken to him and told him, we're not going to consider you. It may be a better choice for you to announce your retirement. It could have happened. I'm not too sure about that. But if you look at Virat Kohli, to me, he was possibly given a very raw deal when he was removed from his captaincy. Mm-hmm. There was no way he should have been removed from this captaincy. He was doing well, and he was a fantastic leader. To me, a leader is the guy who takes both the positives and the negatives. When the team does well, when people praise him, he was one guy who would give the credit to the team. And when the team was losing, if suppose some individual performed badly, Kohli would never point his finger at anybody. He would say the team performed badly. That's it. And that was the hallmark of a good captain and a good leader. And that was the biggest mistake Indian cricket could have done by removing from captaincy.
I personally thought if they were going to, before naming Shubman Gill, if they were going to name him, at least Kohli be there, Gill would have had some senior player to fall back upon, be guided. But now it is going to be learned by experience, learn on the job, on the whatever he is thrown in the deep end, and let him swim, try to swim. That is how it is going to be. So, sir, I think we are coming to the end of this wonderful discussion. Thank you very much. Got to learn more from you, your insights into what goes into a selection, the team. Thank you very much, sir.
Right, GK. Thank you so much. Lovely interacting with you. Yes, take care. All the best.
Hope to do more of this in the coming days. Let's see how it goes. Thank you very much for your time and immediately agreeing to do this when I asked you. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.